Because I truly did love you. I still do. But not in the same way. Take it.
All right. Well, my people, we got New York session live here with the squad out in Park City. I think it's day 5 or 6 for us out here. It's felt like a month. Time is slower here. And then shout out to everyone here in the chat that's on the stream. Love to see you guys in here. Appreciate y'all. I know we're getting all caught up in here. People are hopping on. It's good to see you all in here. Feel rested. Ready to roll. I know I wasn't on yesterday, so but it was so dope. I know like people here in person and in the school community, just seeing you guys take some of the indice buys or the sells, some of the gold trades as well. Just seeing the duplication is so sick. And it's
Some of the
it's really cool to see how you guys are just getting the entry models down. Some of you that have been plugging in for either a long time or a good time, or like you're pretty fairly new to all everything we're doing here. So it's pretty cool to see. I'm gonna go over indices here in a second, but I did get a request to check out oil, so we'll go check out oil here real quick. Yeah, good to have all of you guys on. Buenos dias, Gabriel. We got Kai from plugging in from France. All right, you know, in his bag. Cesar Rivera, what's up? Cesar Rivan, Giggly, Hema, Patrick, Edwin. How you feeling, brother? How's life out there in Cali? Kanzada 6R on 6SL. Sheesh, 6R is no joke. What's good? What's good? What's up, Austin? Morning, Karen. The Taurus fam. I saw you, Austin, yesterday. You caught something. Buenos dias, primo. I got my cousin, actual cuz, on here. Corey. Seth, what's good, man?
Good to see you, Mike.
Seth, in the chat and in person. All right, so let's check out this oil idea that you're bringing up. And then...
It is the top OB. There's a lower zone for 15 seconds. Otherwise, it's kind of pop off at the beginning.
All right, let's check it out. Feeling good to be alive. Yeah, great time to be alive. So I think Kai's in this one, I believe. So yeah, we did kind of trade into this zone over here. This was a sell-off from Tuesday's New York session. So we kind of get a drop right there. Let's see. Buy zone. So this is the trade. Let's see what the lag isn't too bad. All right, so yeah, this zone that we have right here. Obviously, you see when the market spikes down here on Tuesday during New York session, it does clear out London session, Asian session, and trades into this imbalance. We get a higher high over here for a few hours during London to New York crossover, and then we kind of just keep trading up here for a bit. So I do see the motive for a buy out of this range. Then the question was, could it go lower in this same area?
Yeah.
Okay, so let's kind of check it out.
Second last push down. It looks like it pulled off of this little OB that kind of spiked down right off the beginning there.
All right. So when we saw this sell, when we dive into the nitty gritty over here, you know, we kind of see the market at 1245, right? Start to create the low, keep pushing lower. I think you're looking at something in here.
Yeah, I feel like it played off of that early OB right at the top.
So we have one last sell-off right around here, 63.84. Last push down. This starts at exactly like 12.53, and then we continue. So now we go and we reject in here. So you're saying we're rejecting out of this zone right there. And then we get the reversal. But there is a chance that we work our way one leg down again to trade out of maybe where we see some support over here in the past. Thank you. And get a continuation. I see your point.
Yeah.
for
It's
sure.
mitigated the top, no doubt about that. It's one of those that could have a little motive to go a bit lower. So I want to get your take. There's also the zone right below it though too, so it kind of makes it.
Yeah, so I think we definitely see trades like this where the market will kind of trade right out of the open over here and then come down one more time to trade lower, or we have imbalance, other levels of support, and then go higher. But I think I feel like because we already have this zone, I think I'm just like okay with not taking it lower in here and wait it out. There's not like a big imbalance either. Like, yeah, I don't even know how to explain. I feel like sometimes the order block's very obvious. Here it's like kind of hidden in the price action a bit more. But we'll see if we kind of just keep trading up here for a while and then if we get one more leg down, then I mean, yeah, maybe. But I see why you would want to take this for sure. So I guess we can just let price action keep unfolding, and then if maybe we trade along for a longer period of time and we dip back down, I feel like that's kind of showing us, I guess, more of a stronger bullish trend. If right now we start to crash back down, I don't know if I would be looking to take it over here right away. But I see why. Like, this happens with indices all the time. And then I think if we look over to here, there's a good option for, especially if we keep working our way lower, I think we could see sells with oil as well. So if we go right here, we traded up into this area, took out the highs, Wednesday's New York session highs, traded towards the highs from the gap to kick the week off. So if we start to go and make lower lows here, then I definitely could see oil trading out of here in the future. So we'll have some alerts set up. Oil looks good. Eventually. Now let's go take a look at indices. We have New York open here in 8 minutes, 7 minutes. So starting from a higher time frame, where it's interesting, we keep breaking below, but then we keep coming right back in, so it's really struggling. Like, Dow is struggling to really confirm distribution because every time it tries to go lower, this was just exactly what we had been seeing over and over again, which is it just mitigates, and then because the market doesn't trade down here really for much time, it shows us that the break below is just an incentive to liquidate retail buyers, attract sellers, and then we get the shakeout. We got it with Dow, we got it with NQ. So it's not a terrible idea for sells here, because we do trade down here, come up again, and then we end up closing the day below these previous lows in the 5 minute. So I do think we're more bearish than we are bullish here. Like, we see the market struggle to trade below here, like the 15-minute low, but the 5 minute, we honestly are maintaining this pretty well. So trading in the extremes could have potential. We'll take a look at NQ and S&P as well. But as we look at yesterday's New York session and the highs that it made, we could see up here, we see one last spike up right minutes after New York open. The market gets really choppy. You see another big move up here. So one more bullish candle, and then this like bigger movement here. This attracts quite a bit of buyers. Right before this just rips down and continues working its way to the downside. So I could definitely see some selling coming out of this range. I think healthier, like higher probability stops could honestly be up at this high, but for now. Dow looks like it's got a decent opportunity right here. We saw with the unemployment claims, we kind of got this boost up to this high over here. This takes out London highs, Tokyo highs, and works its way back into here. So Dow definitely has potential to short. If we look at S&P, really similar. All right, S&P over here. Just let this thing load. Gives the distribution, so it clears the highs, comes back down, makes one move higher, and then everything just bleeds out again. So S&P with basically the same setup. We can use the replay tool, dive into this over here, and then we got our last push up before everything starts to drop. So pretty much the same thing for S&P. The difference with S&P is it really doesn't this low sucks. Like the structure is pretty weak. Like this is let's take out the low, and it looks like okay, now we're bearish and this can start to go back down again. But I don't think it's a coincidence that these are so brief and the market takes the low out and then just keeps going higher. So I think that there is an incentive for price to take out these lows that built up during Tokyo and the second half of New York session. So at some point I do think we can get down to here, but I feel like we're still going to end up breaking above this. And then this brings us to NQ. NQ trades right into these zones. Morning. So we've been waiting for mitigation. So yesterday I wasn't live, but you guys had all of these setups, right? All of these ideas were shared earlier in the week. So you had buy opportunities with indices. And so NQ and S&P both did the same similar price action. Both broke below Wednesday's London session, but only to come right back up. So this, for me, is not a break of structure. This is not bearish trending. This, to me, looks like a reaccumulation that the market actually wants to keep pushing higher with NQ. Very weak break below. The market comes right back in and then continues and rallies. So we get actually a shakeout setup out of NASDAQ. And with all of that being said, I think that I would want to see, because now we've rejected these highs too. I want to see NQ and S&P take out New York highs. So I can kind of throw this in here. I want to see these highs get swept. NQ, S&P, and I think that would bring Dow into this zone. So right now, this is kind of what I want. I would want to see that divergence. So if we can get NQ clearing highs, S&P clearing highs, and Dow making like the lower high, then I like the short on Dow Jones. I can zoom in on 1 minute price action and kind of get a better look over here. So right now we're seeing the rejection of this little dip right here, this little drop. It's not really one of my type of trades, but that's kind of what we're seeing right now. That's what it's playing off of. So let's see if Dow decides to cool down with New York Open, or how this, what happens with the price action here. All right, so NQ, New York Open, spikes down, takes out London lows. And then starts to ride higher. S&P pushing upwards slowly, and then we have my slow ass computer here. Now YM is pushing upwards now, so we're seeing YM get close, and then now starting to reject. So is this the rejection of this area? It trades out of the order block first. So we just saw Dow reject these bullish candles and then drop. So that's the first move for Dow here. NQ might be just, if we have a Nasdaq keep going lower, then can we get a buy somewhere in here, right? Like, where could that be? Let's say that we kick things off to the downside. What's up? You're in a buy? On Nas? Are you trading out of here or something? Okay, cool. So I think Nas took a sell. Nance took a Nas sell, buy out of here. So I'm imagining it was like over here somewhere. Alright. Cool. So the area where I see a possible trade after all of this movement, I see one push down here with Tokyo lows. Hold on, here we go. So we see the market from here, we see a leg down. And then a continuation right around here. So this is going back to Nasdaq taking out yesterday's liquidity. The market starts to work its way up, back down, chops up here. This is luring in retail sellers. We get one more push to the downside right into here, and then the market keeps moving. We leave liquidity here and London lows before the market keeps pushing higher. So if we do go lower, I think we can work our way down to this area here. So okay. So possible plays out of here. For S&P or for Nasdaq, this would be taken out, London, Tokyo low, all of that. We're seeing Nasdaq start to push higher. S&P also still not quite breaking above or breaking below, not really choosing a direction quite yet. And then Dow takes out London highs, trades up towards this range. Man, this is so slow. And then now it is in mitigation zone. So we're seeing the reaction, the sell-off from this high here with Dow. I'm not really looking to participate in sells with Dow Jones, since we're kind of the first to it's got the most bullish momentum right now. So I'm not looking to sell here, so I'm going to stay out of that. So this is moving along really well so far. So let's see if we end up seeing Dow take out these highs. And now what we saw was we had Dow trade into this imbalance and then honestly continue pretty well. So there is still motive for price to get down to here, Tokyo lows and all that good stuff. You got a nice little push down. Not that it takes out a ton of liquidity, but now this is on fire right here. S&P, on the other hand, might really respect this. You can see S&P isn't booming like Dow. It's not following Dow's lead. It's really just staying within the range. So this S&P sell might be a pretty good opportunity. And then we have NQ, just unlike Dow, is not really pushing to the upside too aggressive. So the clear setup right now, it would be S&P. S&P over here, and then where you could look to short this, I think, just comes down to either price action from back over here yesterday. So really anywhere in this range, I think you can see a pretty good short on S&P. Anywhere from really a 10-point stop or less. Here you have it, take out the highs and then just work its way down. So really it's just tapping into the zone. I think you could see it sell off. Now we're seeing apparently Dow wasn't really too concerned, and it is starting to reject this high. Look at that. So this is currently playing out. This is our original idea here, was to sell from up here. It's dropped now 100 points. Now the question is this sustainable? So now that this has rejected this last pump up here, right? We saw it close out this move. So this was the original sell that we had marked up. Right here. And honestly, look at this thing, just bled out. So I didn't take this because we had S&P and NQ already trading lower. So my thoughts were the chances of this going higher with a YM and just pushing higher were pretty solid. And of course, today was one of the examples where now price action is flipped. Now we're seeing NQ wanting to push higher, S&P kind of just somewhere in between, and then you have Dow that now has taken out the highs and just came right back in. So here we have now we have a kind of a second option, right? What kind of setup could this be forming, guys? With Dow Jones? Shakeout setup, right? So if we start to kind of build up some support here, this is starting to, if it starts to kind of chop up in here, then we could have another short up in this range, especially if we have Dow kind of maintain bearish. So if we see it happen kind of like this, and the market kind of trade like this for a bit, poke up into here, then we can short. So let's see. Let's let this thing. Let's let it I guess ferment, if you will. Do you think YM only played out because of all the volatility was pumped into it? All the volatility was pumped. Can you maybe say that in a different way? I don't know if I'm understanding that question. Well, because it's a small rejection. This doesn't necessarily mean it's always gonna keep going down. So sometimes you'll see it reject and then just continue anyways. Because a big move like this right off the open, this is an easy way to have people chase the sell down. Oh, now it's starting to go down. I don't want to miss it. That's why I wait for the market to show me that there was really no demand up here. Because right now, look at how we're coming back up here. If if this was really wanted to be continue to be bearish, the market, like, there wouldn't be all of these buyers already in high amounts so quickly. Like, now we're trading up here, so like this doesn't seem to be the option. At least I wouldn't take it right now. Like, we quickly came right back up, so that shows that no, actually these prices were too low for the demand. Like, people are still, or not people, like, there are orders that are still able to be filled up here, so these prices are actually in demand. There's still like money that's willing to transact at these prices. So it's now, there's, at least for me, I'm not like so inclined like, oh, you know what, let me sell, because I don't think that there's going to be more orders still up here, that there's a preference to be down here. And meanwhile, we're seeing now S&P push higher and Q start to push higher here. So let's zoom out a little bit. And Q hasn't quite taken out these highs from the last hour or so. S&P is getting really close to our sell zone that we liked here. And then you have Dow that's like kind of somewhere in between. So if we zoom out, looks like Dow could go in either direction. S&P is getting pretty close to this last pump up to here. And then NQ is kind of going back and forth on whether it's pretty choppy or not. So honestly, if it seems like S&P is splitting the difference, I don't think S&P is a bad trade by any means. So yeah, I see the setup. So yeah, I'm gonna set a half risk setup with MES. It looks like it's going pretty back and forth with price action. Like, the market's trying to go higher and then it loses momentum, and it tries to go higher and then it loses momentum again. So I think selling out of this range is something I'm cool with for at least a half R. And then with the half R going for 4.6 risk reward, at a half R you're still making, over 2.3 R, so that's good enough for me. So let's see. Yeah.
I have a question, Mike.
Yeah.
So, like, when I first opened Indices this morning, that low, let's see if it'll make it easier. This low here, I initially thought, like, okay, it came back up as fast as it came back down. So I didn't think that was an actual low.
It's not.
So that explains the half bar, because I was thinking half bar too. And I was like, okay, like that's just an aggressive. That's just an aggressive push down. Okay. So you were kind of thinking this. Okay.
Yeah. This, for me, we talked about this right in the beginning. This is not bearish yet for me. This is like clears the low, not really any demand. I think the market overall might want to go higher.
The question is, did it just mitigate?
Let's see.
The tap at the beginning of the zone.
So we saw it poke right above these highs, right? So these are typical places for stops before New York Open started. You see it clear above here. I appreciate the patience with this slow ass laptop right now. Damn, and it's crushing back down. So with the way that this dropped, right, could it be that the market already mitigated this area? That's the question right now, right? So maybe let's go look at it. Let's go. So here's where we started to see some bullish momentum. So let's go check this out up here. Go to the 15-second. So in my opinion, like, we get a whole bunch of liquidity. This right here is where things 8:45 a.m. Central yesterday. It's 15 minutes after the open. You see the market clear the highs and drop. We just came back in to trade into the order block, if I'm not mistaken, right before it. So we just tapped into it. I mean, this is like, I don't know, I think 0.25 away. So I mean, yeah, based on how close we got and looking at the way in which the market's moving, like if this wasn't like it just kind of dropped in a little bit, like this just started to tank as soon as we hit right there. So, I mean, I understand why people would or like you would interpret it that way. If you don't want to take this anymore, totally understandable. London lows were just swept. So we had, for example, NQ really trading out of his zone pretty aggressively already. And you have Dow that Dow shakeout that we're talking about here, that we said it had potential. This is still like didn't drop anywhere as aggressively as NQ or S&P. So it kind of looks to me like Dow is just gonna want to keep. It just wants to keep pushing higher. S&P, as aggressively as it dropped down, it's still coming right back up. And NQ, I think, gives kind of the clear evidence. So if NQ stays like this, I think NQ becomes pretty easy sells. Because now we're seeing here the market with the news event, unemployment claims. Now you get a pretty clear shot at this. And then you could be looking to short out of this range if we kind of come back up here eventually. So if we work our way over to here, then I think we're in business to sell out of some of this New York open price action and mitigating the unemployment claims orders right here. Now what I wouldn't do is I wouldn't be buying NASDAQ either. So we have Tokyo lows here with NQ. Yeah, I think I kind of want to just see indices just kind of give a bit more. Like I kind of want to just see more price action. I'm not really too much. Like I don't need to be in the market yet. And then if we stay bearish, then NQ could be a short. But I'm seeing the chat talk a whole bunch about oil in here. So let's take a look at oil. Oh, oil now got down to your zone that you like, right, Seth? Did you take it?
No, still it makes me die tick.
One tick.
But I wasn't stay at that lower zone.
So yeah, we saw the market, work its way up into here. It clears some of that London low, trades into trades lower right into this potential mitigation. Yeah, I think I'd rather just
Yes.
keep waiting it out here.
Man.
Might just be stepping lower.
So this took out some of the London lows. This trading into this area, and then I see that some of you guys looked at this as like a shakeout. So let's see if I agree. I mean, this was clearing the London low.
Yes.
So I get it. I get why you take this shakeout. I see what you're saying here. Because this was a London low. I don't necessarily agree with this being the London low, because we're still in London session at this time. But so now, for example, if we were to get it now, move sideways, trade back down to there, then I would see that would be in agreement with that. Metals. Anyone here see anything in metals? Gold, silver? Any ideas?
The stuff from yesterday. Just the
Squeezing.
yesterday.
Squeezing. Okay.
Can you be yourself somewhere?
more sensitive for it to go lower. Gold at least. Silver had a push up around Asian Open yesterday, but didn't really confirm demand.
Just about.
So what I see here, what's starting to make more sense to me is the short on NQ. Corey asked, still holding gold since yesterday. Okay. YM buy soon. I really wish this thing wasn't so slow. This is driving me crazy. What's up with her? YM buys. I mean, we get above this on the we've been trading above this for the last 20 plus minutes. I guess if you're looking to buy down here. I don't love it, but so that's not really like a big trade for me. This is not. I don't really love this idea. It could work. I mean, you're playing into structure. Like I can see it play out. It's just not my trade. Like this fills in balance and then runs. So, I mean, I kind of get it. Yeah. I would take this if we were to have, let's say like, NQ take out Tokyo at lows or something. So let's say NQ keeps working its way down and we're clearing these lows, then I would definitely be down for that. So I would prefer that kind of like added liquidity, if you will. These were the Spotify levels that I liked for long-term investment for Spotify. Just since that went out here, want that just to put that out there. That move down is already a mitigation, has no reason to reject right there. No reason. I mean, I wouldn't say that far. Like, we have already rebalanced, and there was at least, like, money comes in right before New York Open triggers all of this. So, like, there's a little reason. There's unlogic, but because right now, even here, you're starting to get more of a reaccumulation. It's playing out of other last points of supply. So, Not a A+ setup for me, but I could understand why this would play out, especially if we see like Tokyo lows, other like liquidity getting absorbed on other assets. Then I could see this one pushing forward. All right, let's take a look at. I'll place an alert here just to see kind of where we're at. All right, looking at majors real quick. So we have Australian possibly starting some of this distribution. Rejects this area, starts to work its way down. 6N here just takes out the highs. I think I saw someone say something about setting up for buys. So we have 6N with the big push to the downside. See it rally. You see another push down here. As well, right? This takes out a good amount of liquidity. So this is a London low. So you see another move down right there. Before a continuation. So you have this option, and then right here, during Asian session, you see another push down. However, this here struggles to maintain higher highs. So this, I won't really target this one. This is the one I wouldn't buy. This is my least favorite move, just because the higher highs here aren't great. This little 5 minute is okay. Yes, we get above this, but then it fails. Remember, the higher time frame always is going to have priority. So on the higher time frame, this tackles on Wednesday's London high and then loses momentum. So this being the beginning of a, working its way down to here or here, that makes more sense than it just playing out of this this small time frame, this London one. So okay, so take a look, guys. We have NQ now pushing below towards these Tokyo lows. Right, we just had NASDAQ tap right into that low. So literally just tapped into it. More than likely we go a little bit lower. And then where is this driving? S&P right around into this area as well. And then where does this take Dow Jones? Dow Jones now, we're still really slowly working its way to the zone that Corey had marked up over here. So it kind of makes sense. Like the buy on Dow now, in my opinion, is decent. So I'm gonna take this for a half hour and then see it clear. Honestly, maybe these highs even. So I'll go one more minute. All right. So seeing it trade right into here. I'm with it. It's building up liquidity right now anyways. Meanwhile, we're seeing NQ and S&P start to clear, or at least NQ start to clear liquidity. Now you have going to the new hour. Look at this. Now we're very clearly taking out Tokyo lows in this area where we were talking about how, okay, can NQ mitigate out of here? And maybe it will. Maybe it will. S&P looks like it has a bit more incentive to go a little lower, whether it's trading into this little imbalance or it is getting below Tokyo lows as well. So we want to see that happen. Another, just one more push down makes sense here. And then meanwhile, Dow is holding up the structure still pretty well. Okay, so while this is forming, looks like someone said silver's pretty close. We can take a look at silver metals. All right, so let's go take a look at gold and silver. And I think I'm 2 minutes too late to this party here. Dang. Okay. So this just came in to buy out of here and run. How sad. Meanwhile, gold, what's gold doing? Yeah, the divergence there was clear, super clear. Look at how gold took out these lows. All right, gold came down to trade down into this area. This took out London lows, took out Tokyo lows, and then just traded into just New York session price action from yesterday. And so gold now reacting super well, pushing up into this range. Maybe there's a chance we have gold shakeouts. Meanwhile, silver was already making higher lows and higher lows. This was working its way down into the imbalance and into this last push down before the continuation. So I was just a little too slow. And here was your play right there. So this was a really good example of two things. This is a really good example of divergence. So seeing the difference that gold is making lower lows while silver is making higher lows. So you can see that right there. Right, gold breaks below the structure, but meanwhile, silver is giving you the exact same setup and it's making the higher low instead. So that should give you some confidence to trading this level. And this is you actually could have probably had a responsible risk idea out of this as well. So pretty good movement so far. Not out of here, right? There's still opportunity. So let's take a look and see what price action wants to do here. Is gold going to stay really bullish, and then maybe we get a trading environment, bless you, where the market is now that it took out all of this liquidity. Are we going to stay moving sideways? Can the market do something like this, take out the low and then run some more? Or maybe we get higher highs and then this becomes a mitigation setup. So we'll come back to gold and silver here in a little bit. Y'all can keep me posted in the chat. But yeah, Daniel, good looks. Good eye on that. That was great. And I know we can look on the other side as well. So, for example, yesterday, we saw gold trade up to here. Gold trade up to this level right up here. Take out the highs, left some imbalance. This though looks like we're dealing something a bit closer to liquidity. So maybe we work our way up there. And then silver has a better setup in my opinion, where it takes out these highs, works its way down, and so could we get a selling opportunity out of silver over here? How do you guys like this sell with silver? So we see yesterday, right before New York session ended, the market takes out those highs and then drops. So I think we could work our way up to here in the future. Worth having alerts for. Looks like gold could be creating an opportunity, either for a shakeout or we just go higher. Maybe it becomes a mitigation. I have an alert here on gold in case we dip back down under here. There's a chance that we could take a little buy opportunity there. A little shakeout action. All right. Meanwhile, we're seeing Dow come back down after a good rejection to the upside. We're seeing S&P kind of holding up a little choppy, and then is this where NQ flip things back around? Not really. Okay, cool. So NQ did mitigate this zone, so it took out Tokyo lows, came right back up, and now it's kind of moving sideways over here. Silver, pretty much the same. And then you have Dow Jones that's just building up more and more liquidity over here. So very much sideways. A lot of retail buyers here. So now all of the buys after New York Open are still in profit. So any buys after New York Open right now are still in profit. None of them, or I guess you could say, if stops are placed below these lows, like they're still holding up. So having it come back down, especially if we can see S&P or NQ keep going like it's doing right now. So you see how we're seeing this go lower. Now this is trading towards this imbalance and possibly getting below the Tokyo low here. So this is how we basically can find entries using the context of the entire market, not just one asset class. All right, so look at Dow. Like this is just buyers are already loading up in here. So we might just see S&P go like right into this little drop right here. and then get a bounce, and then maybe it takes out Tokyo lows. So you might see something like this right now. Like in here, might bounce and then take these out. If something like this happens, then that might be the bounce that gets Dow to tap into this zone over here. So this is just super slow. Majors. Anyone looking at majors setups? Nothing?
And then, yeah. 6J. Good. And the bottom 6 on.
But they're not. These aren't really close to anything yet.
Not time a minute.
All right. So yeah, I mean, starting to see. So we saw the pound, right, try to go lower, another level lower, and then now it looks like we're kind of getting accumulation here. So dollar pairs are starting to move like they want to see higher highs, higher lows. You just saw the pound work its way down to here. So I'm wondering if we see similar price action with everything. Just like euro, pound, NZD, etc. So Australian NZD are the most bullish from what I'm seeing. Everything else is kind of still making lower, like it's pushing upwards, but really not with the same kind of bullishness. We have the pound here. Once it loads, starting to get those higher highs, higher lows. So seeing a buy out of GBP could make sense, especially if we keep a good bullish structure. So those of you looking at maybe the pound for a buy, I could see this kind of being a setup later on. But that's about it. So yeah, I'm going to wrap up the session there, guys. Not really too much else. It looks like gold can become a good buying opportunity later. So give it some time to just like show us that it wants to stay bullish. And then if it drops back down to like below 50.72, then we can look for buys there with gold. Looks like gold now kind of leading that bullish move. So yeah, keep your eyes out on gold for buys later on. And then indices are just kind of not really doing too much. So that buy on Dow, it still has potential. And if it's not going to be that, and let's say we just start reversing now and the market just keep pushing, then remember you still have this NQ sell opportunity from unemployment claims. So the NQ sell, this one looks very much like a great opportunity trading out of 25,370, 25,360. Like right out of here, I think we can get pretty solid sells, especially just now that we've not just broken below, but we've been trading down here for well over 45 minutes or so. So we'll leave it at that. This NQ buy wasn't my favorite just because I still see that S&P and Dow could go even lower. So I wasn't really in a rush. I didn't need to be in that trade yet. So yeah, as I said, guys, no real-time trades, unfortunately. But all the trades that I disqualified, at least had some sort of movement. But yeah, so just don't rush into anything. Wait for the market to come to you. Let your confirmations give you your edge, and we'll live to trade another day. any things that I see, stay tuned in here in our community. And then if you want to join our free community, just go to tradingwithmike.com. Yeah. Take care, guys. Peace out.